So, what if the secret to living a truly richer life wasn't about earning more money, but actually needing less? I know. In our modern world where we're completely obsessed with spending, constantly upgrading, and endlessly chasing the next big thing, that idea sounds almost rebellious, right? But fascinatingly, Japanese culture has quietly mastered this art of living incredibly well with less. And the absolute best part? It's not about struggling or depriving yourself. It's all about sheer intention.
Welcome to today's explainer. Today, we're diving into 8 powerful Japanese ways to spend less and live a whole lot better. You see, Japan doesn't just teach people how to pinch pennies, it offers a really profound philosophy on how to fundamentally upgrade your life, all while your expenses naturally shrink. By balancing simplicity, discipline, and this deep sense of contentment, these time-tested practices can literally transform how we look at our money and, honestly, our lives.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the modern spending trap. Then, financial awareness. Third is decluttering space and mind. Fourth, appreciating what you have. And finally, finding purpose over possessions. Let's jump right in. Section 1, the modern spending trap. Overwhelmed, strained, and exhausted. Moving on to Section 2, financial awareness, the art of mindful spending. To kick off our practical money management, it's really fascinating to look at Kakeibo. This is a traditional Japanese method of budgeting, but trust me, it's completely different from just mindlessly plugging numbers into a smartphone app. Kakeibo is all about profound awareness. It literally requires you to sit down with a physical pen and paper and just reflect. Every single month, you ask yourself 4 critical questions. How much money do I have? How much do I want to save? How much am I actually spending? And how can I improve? It removes that autopilot mode and forces you to be totally present with your finances. Now, what's really interesting here is how Kakeibo categorizes your expenses. Every single purchase goes into one of 4 buckets: needs, wants, culture, or unexpected. By visually separating your spending like this, you're forcing yourself to confront your habits face to face. But you're doing it with honesty, not guilt. Suddenly, those little impulse purchases, they become totally undeniable. You stop swiping your card on autopilot and start spending with real intention. And the natural result? Way less waste, a lot more savings, and a much, much healthier relationship with your money. Okay, Section 3, decluttering space and mind. Less chaos, more clarity. This brings us to the really cool philosophy of Danshari. Over in Japan, minimalism isn't just some trendy aesthetic for a sleek apartment, it's a fundamental way of thinking. Danshari breaks down into 3 core actions: refuse what you don't need, dispose of what you don't use, and detach from what no longer serves you. Think about it. Every single item you own takes up space. And I don't just mean physical space on a shelf, I mean mental space. The more stuff you have, the more you have to manage. So by reducing what you own, you fundamentally reduce what owns you. The crucial point here is how this mindset applies to our actual living spaces. Instead of measuring success by the massive square footage of a house that you spend your entire weekend vacuuming, the Japanese approach embraces limited, intentionally smaller spaces. When your room is limited, you're pretty much forced to prioritize quality over quantity. You definitely think twice before buying a bulky piece of furniture. And financially, the benefits are huge. We're talking lower rent, lower electricity bills, lower maintenance. But honestly, the best part? You gain the freedom of time. That time you would have spent cleaning and organizing excess clutter is now yours to rest and focus on what truly matters. Which leads us to Section 4, appreciating what you have, from discarding to treasuring. There's this Japanese word that carries just incredible emotional weight: Mottainai. It basically expresses a sense of profound regret over waste. In this mindset, throwing something away is not taken lightly at all. Clothes are repaired instead of just replaced. Food is used fully, right down to the leftovers. Objects are genuinely cared for. When you adopt Mottainai, your appreciation for what you already own grows, and as a direct result, your consumption naturally drops. Because you see, true wealth isn't found in endless acquisition, it's found in meaningful use. And this beautifully contrasts with our modern consumer culture, which thrives on flawless products and endless yearly upgrades. Japanese philosophy offers us something called Wabi-Sabi. Wabi-Sabi is the art of finding beauty in imperfection, simplicity, and age. Picture a cracked bowl that's been carefully repaired with gold, or a beautifully weathered wooden table. These aren't flaws, guys. They are stories. When you start valuing character over perfect condition, you finally break out of that exhausting, expensive trap of the constant upgrade cycle. This brilliantly illustrates Taini, the practice of living with care. Cook with presence, clean with care, handle your belongings respectfully. Our modern world rushes through literally everything, right? Fast food, fast fashion, fast decisions. Well, Taini invites you to just slow down. When you cook with presence, you don't overcook or waste food. When you handle your belongings respectfully, they last longer. Deliberate living naturally results in less waste, less damage, and, for sure, far less unnecessary spending.
Almost at the end, Section 5, Finding Purpose Over Possessions, Inner Peace and True Wealth.
Think about how we relax today. Relaxation has become so heavily commercialized. We're constantly told to go to an expensive spa, book a lavish vacation, or buy something new just to unwind. But Japan offers Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. It requires zero money, no special water, and absolutely no equipment. You simply step out into nature, leave your phone behind, and just be fully present. It's actually amazing because science confirms that this lowers cortisol and reduces anxiety. It's a really powerful reminder that the absolute best forms of healing and entertainment literally don't require you to spend a single dime.
Now, this raises a really direct, maybe slightly uncomfortable question for all of us. Are you buying because you genuinely need it or because you feel empty? Think about it. So much of modern consumption is highly emotional. We do that late-night online shopping, or we treat ourselves after a really stressful day, not because we actually need the item, but because we're trying to fill a void. We're bored, we feel stuck, or maybe we just feel unfulfilled.
And this is exactly where the concept of ikigai comes in. Your reason for waking up in the morning. It lives at the exact intersection of four things: what you love, what you're naturally good at, what the world needs from you, and what you can realistically be rewarded for. So why does this matter for your finances? Well, because when you find your ikigai, your life has clear direction. That emotional emptiness just disappears. You no longer need to escape your life through impulse purchases. Money stops being this emotional crutch and simply becomes a tool to support a life that you are entirely present in. A meaningful life doesn't require constant spending. It requires presence. This quote perfectly captures the core thesis of our explainer today. Living better while spending less is not about making drastic, painful sacrifices. Not at all. It's about making subtle, powerful shifts. It's about being mindful instead of impulsive, appreciating instead of replacing, choosing deep purpose over societal pressure. In a world that is constantly shouting at you to want more, these Japanese philosophies quietly remind you that, hey, you probably already have enough.
So I'll leave you with this. Which of these Japanese principles are you going to start applying today? Will you sit down and write out your budget with a pen and paper using Kakeibo? Will you embrace Wabi-Sabi and find the beauty in the little imperfections of your home? Or will you just step outside for some free Shinrin-yoku? The journey to a richer life doesn't start with a bigger paycheck. It starts right now with a completely new mindset.